Welcome to episode 8 of our FIFA 22 Newcastle United Career Mode, where today we'll be completing season 4 of The Save, and a Halloween weekend inspired episode for all of you watching in real time. If you can't tell already, my costume this year is inspired by Ted Lasso. And to recap how things have gone so far in season 4, you've got to believe we're in the running for the Premier League title. We've been close before, but I feel like this is the season where we may finish top of the table. Also finishing top of our Europa League group, going unbeaten with 16 points, but the matchup has been far from favorable. It's Manchester City in the round of 16. Looks like they finished third in a group consisting of Sevilla, Marseille, and Spartak Moscow in the Champions League. They did go on to beat Celtic in the preliminary rounds. Here is the squad that we'll be bringing into that competition. With all the additions we made in the summer, we don't exactly have the most funds to work with, but we can probably do something with 25 million. And I've just been kind of feeling like rotating this squad around, getting some new players in, and letting players like Joelinton maybe go on to have a more successful career elsewhere. He's been more of a rotational striker than anything. We've really gone all in with the Santiago Munoz storyline, and while Joelinton has been a superb striker with the few minutes he's had, we're going to cash in on that 15.5 million as he heads to Atalanta. Ryan Fraser also leaving the club for Southampton, and Oni Valakari, who we signed as a free agent a few seasons ago, will be heading to Bournemouth for 1.1 million. Keeping in mind that we have the brand exposure objective of signing 3 players from Europe, and we only need a single transfer in order to complete that, we'll be turning to a player that has been linked heavily in the comments section, draws a lot of similarities to Alan Shearer. Pretty much has gone in reverse order as far as his career trajectory goes, whereas Shearer started at Southampton, transferred to Blackburn, and went on to score numerous goals at Newcastle. Armstrong went the other direction, starting at Newcastle, transferring to Blackburn, and now at Southampton. However, in this save, he is playing at Udinese, but we'll be bringing him back to the Premier League and the Newcastle squad that is on the rise. 35 million was the transfer fee, not too much more than his current market value. And in case anything ever happens to Munoz, he has a higher ceiling than Joelinton and could fit right into the starting 11. Unlike Matty, who kind of has youth on his side, Sean needs a loan spell, so he'll be heading to Premier League club West Ham, and we'll be attempting to do the same thing with our top youth academies prospect, Theo Barton. The center back will be leaving on loan to Deportivo Alaves. Fingers crossed he can continue his rapid development and become one of the best center backs in the squad. For whatever scouting networks we have left, we're going to have a little bit of fun and try to bring in a variety of different players into the squad. Still looking in England for a physically strong player. Also headed to Nigeria to look for an attacker. One of my favorite players of all time, Obafemi Martins, who played for my hometown club, the Seattle Sounders, also spent a few seasons at Newcastle. I think one of the best additions to FIFA 22 is the greater representation of other leagues around the world. The Indian Super League added to the game, so we will be sending a scout to India to look for a technically gifted player. Few depth plan changes, as it is finally time to change Saint-Maximin's position. We've had him on this center forward plan for the longest time. We've been waiting for the squad to catch up in rating, but with Saint-Maximin by and far being our best player at Newcastle, we're going to give him that upgrade, a +5, as he changes to a center forward. We're also set on Boscali being a center back as he sees a +2 to his rating, and Willock still trying to become a high work rate center midfielder. We'll be working on the ball winning midfielder development plan to boost his defensive work rate. We certainly got our work cut out for us as we get into this round of 16 Europa League matchup against Manchester City. The additions to the squad have been positive. Whether it will be enough to advance to the quarterfinals is still yet to be seen. If you're enjoying this Newcastle Career Mode, make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, but let's get into the gameplay highlights. Some interesting tactics from Manchester City. Unfortunately, it looks like the glitch where players are playing out of position is back again for FIFA 22. Realistically, Sula and Mbabu should be swapping roles. But hey, if it's working out for them and they can pick up a 3-1 victory at home, then I'm not going to knock the tactics. Of course, we've seen some impressive comebacks over the course of this career mode, especially when we're playing at St. James's Park. Interesting to see the Gareth Bale tifo there. Hasn't really played a role for us this year or even last year now that he is getting on in age. Maybe that's the fans sending a message that they want Bale getting more minutes, but it is Saint-Maximin to get the first highlight in this one. His cross ends up getting deflected, but we stay with it, and it's Zakaria that the ball falls to. And usually he's in a center defensive mid role, not really getting too involved in the attack, but because we are a few goals down, we need our players to push up, and that is a crucial goal for us to score. Whether we can maintain that sort of pressure for a full 90 minutes is still yet to be seen, especially when we're making defensive mistakes like that one. Berardi's shot is saved from Dubravka, who is still our keeper of choice for these Europa League fixtures. But here's Sula from the left back position, setting up Palaversa who plays the ball in the middle. Gabriel Jesus finding Berardi. This time he will get his goal, increasing that aggregate lead for Manchester City back up to 2. To be honest, it was expected because City have played like this in the past. And again, it's Mbabu catching up with Saint-Maximin. And Pep's tactics were working as Solskjaer ends up finding Mendy, some quick passing play in the midfield. Berardi will play through Gabriel Jesus. A few players calling for the ball in the middle. Jesus takes a touch, and he is going to find Berardi again in the middle. It's a brace for the Italian. I was quickly starting to feel that this City lead was just too much for us to surpass. 3 goals is a lot to ask for, especially with just 45 minutes or so left in this one. But before the halftime break, we're trying to make something happen. Some good passing play out of the back. Zakaria finding Saint-Maximin. Eventually, it is Willock who's played through. We're trying to make him that true box-to-box CM. And his finishing in front of goal, especially in recent episodes, has been fantastic. Once again, utilizing that low-driven shot to the far post. As long as we can stay within reach and distance, we don't need to worry about the away goals rule anymore. That's a recent change for FIFA 22 and this year's European competitions. But that's a weak header to give up. I felt like we defended it pretty well. Lascelles was trying to get back in time, but on Dubravka's near post, really should be getting to it and not allowing that goal to be scored. We're going to switch up tactics, going constant pressure, fast build up. Basically our last hope of maybe getting a few goals back. Again, 3 is a lot to ask for within 45 minutes. Ederson making a good save, Cantwell staying with it, finding Willock in the middle. This takes a deflection on the way in. A little bit of luck going on our side. We're even trying to pick up the ball because we have 2 more goals that we need to score, but Willock was having none of it. Here's a take a look at the instant replay. It was Ruben Diaz in the end, whose block ended up doing more harm than good. Having a high defensive depth and going constant pressure can certainly help with the attack, but it does leave you vulnerable on the defensive front. And City, I don't know how they didn't get more goals. A lot of last-ditch efforts and saves to keep the match close. And Phil Foden, already with a goal to his name, finds Sterling. Dubravka on his near post seemed to start improving much better after conceding the opening goals. But here in the 77th minute, we get a good win off of the Ederson punt. Saint-Maximin, you're not going to deny him inside the 18-yard box. And all of a sudden, we are just 1 goal short of bringing things level on aggregate. Just 5 minutes left to go. And Naki Williams, having scored a hat-trick in the previous leg, you would have expected him to at least get 1 goal. But we're going to look to counter. It's Sarr. Has a few players making a run in front of him. Cantwell is going to get fouled by Nicolas Sula. We kept the play going, but I think it was a tactical foul, pretty much bringing an end to that counter attack. City going to the corner flag, sending it across. Dubravka able to collect 4 minutes of added extra time. Maybe the stops of play that Manchester City forced as a result of the foul would end up costing them because it allows us to get 1 more attack in. Miguel Almiron is going to play this one in the middle to Adam Armstrong, our new signing. Finds Willock, 1 more pass to Coutinho, cutting in from the left with that right-footed finesse shot. It's what you guys have been asking for, and that is going to complete the comeback. First time I can say that I've seen a 2-legged fixture and 6-6 on aggregate, especially with as many goals scored in the second leg as this one. One thing I will say, though, is as a result of us using constant pressure, it left us in not the best shape going into the extra time. Naki Williams will end up getting his goal, the chip shot. Finds the back of the net. Dubravka tried his best to close down the angle, but it was not meant to be. That's going to put City 1 ahead. They'll win back possession with 5 minutes left. And Sterling finding Williams. He's going to side foot that one into the corner, making it 8-6. It was an impressive feat for us to even force extra time in this one, but City's quality and squad depth proved the difference. Into the semifinals of the FA Cup, and it is Manchester United that will play against. They went on to win that match 3-1. The reason I chose not to highlight that one is because I saw we were playing against Manchester United towards the end of the season. And honestly, the Premier League table is looking a lot more interesting. With just 3 fixtures remaining, we could go top of the Premier League if we manage to pick up 3 points. Taking a look at the United starting 11, a lot of main players are no longer at the club or they're not included in their starting lineup. For example, Ronaldo is retiring at the end of the season. To be fair, he's still at an 82 overall. I know we passed up on signing Messi's regen, but if Ronaldo's regen is available as a free agent, then we might just sign him. Every point matters in this home stretch of the Premier League season, and we're back to using Keylor Navas between the sticks. Although Dubravka's time at Newcastle has largely been successful, that performance in the Europa League didn't leave me with too much confidence, and Navas generally speaking, has been more consistent. But we do manage to get the opening goal. It's Saint-Maximin, low-driven shot. That duo is always so good as he celebrates in front of the United fans. Set piece, though, from Bruno Fernandes. Off the crossbar initially, the rebound goes straight back to Richarlison. And just like that, it is level 1-1. It's going to be another chance for us, and it's Willock finding Nori down the left. Quick passing play, and Saint-Maximin has been on a bit of a tear. I mean, the boost to his rating, I think, has largely helped the simulated fixtures because his stats in game should more or less be the same. But I'm telling you, ever since the patch came out, attacking has been really good on both fronts. We're lucky not to concede a second goal, but a few minutes later, it's Richarlison, similar to how Ronaldo played for United in, I believe it was the first season of this Newcastle Career Mode, always taking long shots. Navas equal to it though. Slightly different tactics here from United in the second half. I felt like they were going for more possession than the direct play style they had in the opening 45 minutes. And it ended up being enough to get the equalizer 49 minutes in. And it's Jadon Sancho, the player that was highlighted at the beginning of the match. It is Nori again on the left side, finding Saint-Maximin, gets that on his right foot. We went for the green time finish, a bit late to that, but his finishing statistics are so high that it doesn't matter. We don't need to time the finishes necessarily. It's just going to benefit us when we can pull that off. It'll give us a 3-2 lead with 30 minutes left to play. Marcus Rashford finding Bruno Fernandes inside the box. Nice reaction save from Navas, but the pressure from United was going to continue. Jadon Sancho is going to lock onto that through ball, and we're level with not long left to play in this one. Clearly, both sides fighting for all 3 points. United have top 4 aspirations, whereas we are looking to win the Prem. This last sequence of play is something else. It brings back memories of how I was feeling live recording this, as this is a huge reactionary stop from Keylor Navas. It's probably what he's best at, as he does enough to even get this effort cleared. Kim Min-jae looking for the outlet pass. Adam Armstrong spotting out the run from Saint-Maximin. He's already got a hat trick, and he is going to get by the United defenders. Has the composure to also slot the finish past Golini, and that is 4 goals on the day. I don't know what we would do without Saint-Maximin. He's been an integral part of this career mode save, and this has probably been his best performance to date. 4 goals and 3 points added to our table tally. A win in the following week against Brighton leaves us with just 1 Premier League match day left to go. Currently 1 point clear of Aston Villa. They have Everton to face. We have Leicester City. Obviously, a win is the top priority, but I do want to mention that we have 2 players retiring at the end of the season. Gareth Bale, our Season 2 free agent signing, was a huge part of the club, and we'll be on the lookout for his regen next year. Also, Fabian Schär has fallen out of the starting 11 and substitutes, but was a big part of the early stages of this save. Really no changes to our side, but taking a look at the Leicester lineup, they've got a strong starting 11. They've made several additions to the team. I think most notably Mason Mount starting for them at the center attacking mid position. This is the first time that I can remember seeing this cutscene heading into the match, so clearly the implications are known. If we can pick up a win, then we can ensure a Premier League title. It's also been a minute since we've last seen the Alan Shearer tifo, as if the fans knew we created our own Shearer storyline in this save. First highlight will go to us, and Will continuing that box-to-box center midfield play. Will set up Munoz. A fantastic save, though, from Iverson, as Nori sends in the cross. Saint-Maximin stops and ultimately gets his shot blocked. On the counter, Leicester are known to be clinical. Usually it's Jamie Vardy at the striker position, but in this save, it is Patson Daka. And how about this for a save from Keylor Navas? I believe that went off of his face. Definitely not happy with his defense in that sort of situation. Leicester continuing that pressure just 10 minutes in. Lascelles initially getting the block in, but Bernat still with the ball. Finds Mason Mount, and that's where the quality is going to shine. He'll give Leicester the opening goal, and we'll be treading uphill as we try to get back into this fixture. It's Daka in the 19th minute, played through Mount, back in the middle, and now it's Dennis Pratt who ends up getting a second goal for Leicester. It's just like things were going in the Manchester City match, where they get up to a few goal leads, but fortunately it's Lascelles who goes on an attacking run from center back. He sends in the perfect pass to Munoz, and that is where investing the time into Munoz's training and development paid off. As long as we can keep the scoreline relatively close, I'm confident we can win this fixture. We saw from both the Manchester City and Manchester United matches that our attack is in probably the best form that it's been in since we started this career mode. But a third goal for Leicester right around the 35th minute, only a few moments later. They're going to have a very fortunate cross end up deflected back to them. Some good pace and play, and Paulinho setting up Pedreza. Eventually, it falls to Patandaka, and the striker will make it 4 for Leicester. We're 3 goals down, and we have a whole another half to play. 30 minutes to go. Saint-Maximin going on one of his attacking runs. He's quicker than all these defenders. Of course, he's got the finishing. That's 2 for us on the day, and also cutting that deficit down to 2, giving us some hope for this final third of the match. I'm pretty sure we switched over to the constant pressure tactics, judging by how high our center backs are up in the pitch. Ismail Assar with a good run. Again, he's got instructions to kind of cut inside, allowing the ball to fall on his right foot, and that is where he is going to give himself the best chance of scoring. Willock to Saint-Maximin. It's defended well, and Mason Mount trying to get on a counter-attack. Our center backs pushing up, and it ends up falling perfectly to us as Munoz in front of goal on his left foot is going to find the far post. That's enough to give us 4 on the day and an equalizer. A single point could end up helping us if Aston Villa also managed to get a draw, but obviously if we could score 1 more goal, that would be perfect. It is a late substitution from Adam Armstrong being brought on. And how about that for the Impact signing, the Impact substitute, whatever you want to call it. Maybe it's a little bit early on to be calling him the next Alan Shearer. He's got a lot more goals that he needs to score. But I can definitively say that there are a few goals that he'll score that are as important as this one. A Premier League title for Newcastle in Season 4. It probably will be the hardest objective that we accomplish in this career mode, given how good the Prem is and how inconsistent simulations can be in FIFA 22. From here on out, we just need to keep improving this squad, catch a little bit of luck for our Champions League matchups, and I'm confident that we can continue taking the step up in Season 5 in making Newcastle the best club in Europe. That final match against Leicester has to go down as one of the most thrilling comebacks and exciting moments I've had in career mode. Not just this FIFA, of all time. Ended up not making too much of a difference because Aston Villa picked up a loss against Everton on their final match day. But the win and the spirit that our Newcastle squad showed counts for something. It's going to be Watford, West Brom, and Bournemouth that see relegation to the Championship. Sheffield United, Fulham, and Brentford will be seeing the rise to the Premier League. Especially in this episode, but even throughout the entire 4th season, goals were no issue as Saint-Maximin led the Premier League in goals scored. Actually, a few players of ours getting into the top 15. Munoz in 3rd with 22. Also, Sarr in 12th with 13. Of course, Manchester United defeated us in the semi-final of the FA Cup. They did go on to win that competition with a victory against Everton in the final. The Carabao Cup saw a 3rd round exit with Aston Villa winning that competition. Barcelona winning the Champions League this year. That has to be our main ambition for Season 5. It's Atalanta that win the Europa League final over Porto, and Borussia Mönchengladbach to win the Europa Conference League. Here's a look at the full numbers. 34 goals scored across 53 appearances for Saint-Maximin. Munoz, Sarr, Willock all getting into the double digits. Cantwell was a surprise player, and even being one of the lower rated players in the squad, still managed to accumulate 16 assists from 50 appearances. Munoz and Saint-Maximin also getting over 10 assists. And Barton hasn't seen that tremendous growth that I was expecting on loan, but still some good growth this season. A +6 in his rating, up to a 71 overall. Just a single youth academy promotion because we're reaching that max squad size. Would have liked to get more players into the senior squad, but it was Harley Wright that'll see the jump up. The English center defensive mid had the best overall and a good potential, so we'll see how he develops. Not too sure why our manager rating is in the red, especially with winning the Premier League title, but hopefully we can get some easier objectives next season and we can see that manager rating rise. But a look at the squad, and I'm going to be, again, asking for comments as far as transfer suggestions go. Now that we've checked off the Premier League, full focus will now go towards Champions League, and we can make those top caliber signings to improve the team. I don't know if I'll continue struggling on Legendary, but defensive improvements has to be the main priority. But if you did enjoy today's Newcastle episode, make sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, but until next time, this has been Flick. I'll be talking to you all again soon.